What's up, YouTube? This is BoxingWave. Man, I'm really happy to do this video, man. I'm really happy that Daniel Jacobs got this fight. I just didn't know what Canelo was gonna do. I really thought Canelo was just gonna fight Triple G for a third time. I knew he wasn't gonna fight Andrade, and I knew I wasn't expecting to see the Charlo fight neither. Regardless of what happened with the Charlo fight, the performance he had. I'm happy he's fighting Daniel Jacobs. Daniel Jacobs I'm a big fan of him. He's a native New Yorker. He's been through, his story is crazy. And I just think that Daniel Jacobs is just such a likable guy. Like, he has so much potential to be a star. So I'm glad he's getting this shot, I think he looked better against Triple G than anyone, in my opinion. So I'm happy this fight is happening, and I'm even more excited that it's not a pay-per-view fight. If something changes in there, it's gonna suck. But but from what I've read, I haven't read any article that states that this is a pay-per-view fight. I subscribe to the Zone. I subscribe to them, every single one of them, and this is the best matchup for 2019 that has been announced, and it's not a fucking pay-per-view. That's incredible to me. And it just makes me, me on this, boycotting this whole pay-per-view thing, and they give me the best fight that's been announced for this year so far, and it's not a pay-per-view. And it just completely proves my point that we don't need the pay-per-views. Now, if something changes, then I'm going to have to make another video about it. But as far as I'm concerned, it's not a pay-per-view for now. So I'm very happy that I can just turn on my Apple TV or use my cell phone. I would like to really go to this fight too, but it's going to be out in on the West Coast. I don't think I'm going to be flying out there to go to this fight. I'm already flying to the UK. I'm still hoping that I'm still waiting to see what happens with April 13th. With that, so and there's other fights. I plan on going to this little Lara card that's coming up. But anyway, all right. So, man, this fight, man, I have so much I want to say, man. Shout out to Canelo too, man, because Canelo really could have just fought anyone. He could have really just fought David Lemieux. It's Canelo can actually fight whoever the hell he wants. And he chose to fight Daniel Jacobs. I'm a happy boxing fan. I know people go come on here and just want to say what it. I'm very happy. All right, this is what makes me love boxing. This fight here. All right, they both recently fought Gennady Golovkin, and I have more. And this is not a breakdown video, okay? But I have something to go with on how I think the fight is going to go. I think this is a dangerous fight for Canelo. Daniel Jacobs, one thing that what I can say, they're both very good boxers. But this is going to be a boxing, a technical fight, which I love. But they both can punch. They both go to the body. Jacobs is a very versatile fighter. He can fight from either stance and well. They both can move their legs. They're both good counter punchers. They both can fight on the inside pretty well. I think Canelo fights a little better on the inside. But Daniel Jacobs can hold his own. And Daniel Jacobs has a good resume. He's been in the ring with some good fighters, man. I know he's taken some losses. But the main thing I wanted to really talk about was the Golovkin fight between both of them. Canelo Golovkin 1 and 2 were very different fights. Okay, Canelo was more of an outboxer, stick and move, and he got tired. Okay, he wasn't bringing the pressure. He was more so countering. I think the most successful of any Gennady Golovkin, any opponent that Gennady Golovkin faced was Canelo in that first fight in the earlier rounds. The later rounds was just all Golovkin to me. I thought Golovkin won the first fight. I thought Canelo did well, but I thought Golovkin won the first fight. Second fight, even though Canelo got hit a lot more, I liked how he brought the pressure to Gennady Golovkin and forced him to fight going backwards. Golovkin still was able to land the jab, but power shots wasn't really hitting like that. Not the way they were in the first fight and the second half of that first fight. But that fight was more debatable, okay? Many people thought, you know, I actually went back and watched the fight. I never did a follow-up video on that because at first glance, I thought Canelo won the fight. I actually went back and watched it maybe a month or two ago, leading up to the Rocky Fielding fight. I did watch it, never talked about it again. After watching it a second time, I was leaning a little bit more towards Triple G because he did outscore Canelo. He was landing the shots. But I like the way Canelo fought in the second fight more. Okay? Doesn't mean he technically win, even though he's coming forward. Doesn't mean he technically win. And I think that's the argument most people were making, and even in my comments back then. But still, Jacobs. I've watched that fight between Jacobs and Golovkin at least 4 or 5 times, and I still come with the same conclusion. I thought Daniel Jacobs won 7 of those rounds, without a doubt. And it's no fanboy shit, because you people call me Triple G fanboys on here. So I like them both. You know, I kind of just wanted to enjoy the fight. Wasn't really rooting for either one. I know Triple G got the knockdown, but I thought Jacobs won 7 out of those 12 rounds. You know, Jacobs had the pacing. You know, the pacing. He fought consistently the same way throughout the fight, and I like that. Canelo fought more consistent in the second fight, but because he was bringing more pressure, it allowed him to get hit a lot more than he's usually getting hit in a fight. So I thought Daniel Jacobs did a good job against Triple G. I think Daniel Jacobs have, you know, the power and everything. It's just that, you know, Canelo's hard to beat, man. It's hard to beat. Very, very hard to beat. You know, very hard to beat, man. You know, and I think I want to do my homework on this. I want to really do a thorough breakdown of how this fight is going to go. If I had to pick a winner today, I would probably say Canelo by decision. But I think Daniel Jacobs has the tools to actually win. You know, this is not the Triple G fight. These are 2 totally different fighters. This is going to be a technical boxing match. I think Canelo, though, you know, he's just a little bit, he can take the punches, man. He can really take a punch good. And I think if anybody is willing to take a risk, I think Canelo can actually do it and hurt Jacobs before Jacobs hurt him. But you can't sleep on Jacobs because Jacobs is a big puncher. One thing I want to mention before I end this video, because I'm not going to keep this long. The IBF title that Jacobs hold, I believe he's still going to want to hold this title. The same day weigh-in is going to be in effect for this fight. Now, I know when he fought Golovkin, he came in much bigger than Triple G that night. All right, I don't know what his weight was, but I think clearly you saw that Jacobs was bigger. He didn't participate in the same day weigh-in. I don't think that's going to be the case for this fight here. Okay, so I will say that even though I thought Jacobs did better against Golovkin, I will say that a lot of that, I'm sure he was a lot more durable for that fight because he didn't do the same day weigh-in like Triple G did. Okay? So that's why even if he had won that fight, he was not going to get the IBF title. In this fight, I believe he would, being that he is the IBF champion, he's gonna come in and make sure he makes that same day weigh-in. He's not gonna just blow up like he did against Triple G. And I think that could be a factor, right? If that is a factor to you guys, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys think of this fight. Anyone that's going, whatever, make sure you guys hit subscribe as well. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.